Hello, my name is Denean, and I'm a gun owner, competitive shooter, hunter, and firearms instructor from Canada. I was asked to participate in today's event to share a cautionary tale from your neighbor to the north due to recent events that attacked our rights and beliefs in democracy. Over the next few minutes, I will share with you how responsible citizens in Canada became potential criminals with the stroke of a pen, how existing rules and laws were pushed aside for the benefit of political position under the guise of reducing crime in Canada, fighting gun and gang violence, and safety for Canadians. On May 1st, 2020, our Prime Minister announced a sweeping gun ban on what he referred to as closing the market for military-grade assault weapons in Canada, and that effective immediately, they were banning 1,500 models and variants of these firearms by way of regulations. He also stated that these firearms had no use in hunting or sporting purposes. Well, I can tell you there was no debate or discussion, no vote or democratic process leading up to this gun ban. By way of an order in council, which is a rarely used statutory instrument in Canada, a small group of politicians from behind closed doors ordered one of the biggest crackdowns against honest citizens by any democracy in history. Overnight, 2.3 million law-abiding Canadian gun owners, shooters, hunters, and competitors lost their rights. And since the time of the gun ban, additional guns and variants have been added to that banned list without public consultation or announcement, leaving Canadians not knowing if they now own banned guns or not. To put this gun ban into perspective, let me share some facts about Canada that you may not know, and that reinforce why this ban is truly unnecessary. Canada is the second largest country by landmass in the world at roughly 3.8 million square miles. We have a population of 37.5 million people, slightly less than the population of California at 39.5. So not many people in this country and a lot of space. Mostly we are stretched out along the US-Canada border. Canada enjoys shooting and firearms ownership as a privilege, not a right. We do not have a Second Amendment or the right to carry for protection or self-defense. The ability to own guns is only available to those without a criminal record. Once you have passed a firearms course and a background check by our National Police Force. As a licensed gun owner, you will also undergo a daily background clearance called a continuous eligibility check for the entire time you own your firearms license. In Canada, you can only purchase a firearm for the purpose of sport, hobby, or hunting. Ownership has two classifications, non-restricted and restricted, and fully automatic firearms are prohibited. Our magazine capacity is restricted to 10 rounds in a pistol and 5 rounds in a modern sporting rifle like an AR-15. Lastly, in Canada, we have firearms storage laws, and all firearms must be locked and safely stored away from the ammunition, and all pistols also need trigger locks. Well, why did I take the time to explain this? In 2018, the same government that put forward this ban published a report on reducing violent crime. They found the majority of the 135,000 respondents did not support further limiting access to firearms, and that the government should instead focus on the illicit market, not legally owned firearms. Government decided that survey did not support a gun ban, so they conducted a poll of approximately 1,600 Canadians in urban centers with little or no knowledge of Canadian firearms rules. So based on these responses, they determined the voices of 1,600 people selected by a firm that they hired should be considered as greater evidence of support for a gun ban than those voices of the 135,000 Canadians previously polled. The government's 2018 engagement paper also stated the vast majority of owners of firearms in Canada lawfully abide by requirements, and most gun crimes are not committed with legally owned firearms. In other words, the government found that legal firearms owners posed almost no credible threat to public safety. With the ban, the Government of Canada will breach the legal contract it made with millions of Canadians who entered into an agreement in good faith. Gun owners followed the rules for purchasing, owning, using, transporting, and storing firearms. Now being publicly shamed by the government for participating in government-approved sports, we are being asked to surrender our property. There have been 5 cases filed against the federal government by gun lobby groups, industry, and individuals here in Canada. They have been filed on the grounds that the regulation is invalid, unlawful, and outside the scope of powers the criminal code could have delegated to the governor in council. The regulation and the means by which it was created and amended is unconstitutional. The regulation and its effect breaches each of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the Bill of Rights, and Section 35 of the Constitution Act of 1982. Specifically, the firearms purported to be banned by this order in council are obviously suitable for hunting and sporting purposes in Canada, because that is exactly what we have been doing legally with them for decades. So I hope by sharing the current situation in Canada, you can better understand that even with strict rules and regulations for gun owners, politicians can change the rules overnight. The facts surrounding the gun ban in Canada are real, and although we are fighting, we don't know where it leaves us. We all know that good people can be trusted and bad people just don't follow the rules. So why punish the good ones and ignore the bad? As our national anthem suggests, Canada is the true north, strong and free. Well, I'm saddened to say that as of May 1st of this year, my Canada isn't what it used to be, and freedom just doesn't feel the same for me. Thank you so much for your time. Stay safe and be good to each other.